So finally, I'm just going to run through Fireco's new digital DorTrak inspection software. This works with RFID stickers that the inspectors store on both the hinge side and the top of the door. All of the inspections are carried out via an app on a mobile phone or tablet. Doesn't need to be connected to the internet to work, so you can work in big buildings or basements that have significant signal problems. So for an end user, all of your fire door reports will be stored on the DorTrak portal, which hopefully you can see on screen here. The portal has the availability to locate all the door inspections by individual site, first of all, so you can view them site by site. We're going to look today at Fireco's own site here in Brighton. So the home page here of the portal will give you the site location. It will also give you an indication here as to the number of doors that have been inspected. We also highlight whether those doors were single doors or double doors, just to make the interpretation of those reports a little bit easier. We try and use a traffic light system where possible, so information is absorbable and kind of user-friendly, easy to read. So green for pass. We see orange now recently introduced for minor fails, and we have, of course, red for major fails. So the first part of our inspection software does allow you to digitally map out fire doors on your floor plans. So prior to an inspection, if the business or site or tower block has a floor plan that can be provided to the systems administrators, these will be uploaded into the portal. So in this example, you can see all three of the floors that Fireco have had fire doors inspected over. The red dots on the floor map actually represent the fire doors in the property. You can hover over those fire doors and they will give you the common names that the inspectors have used when they've checked those fire doors. What's really nice is you can actually click through directly from the floor map view to look at the individual door reports if you wish to. So we've clicked there on the meeting room link, and that takes you directly to that fire door report. And again, you can traverse directly back to that floor plan map from the homepage. All of your individual door reports for one particular site are hosted underneath your floor plan here. So you can see all of the doors here that have been inspected at the Fireco HQ. Again, these are the common names for the doors. So generally at Fireco, we use a floor reference and a site or kind of location for the door. So this example is the floor 1 boiler room. As I mentioned, we also give you options here to add additional naming protocols or door references. So if you have a site team and a kind of off-site fire door team that are more familiar with individual code references, then we do give you an option to rename those door protocols here. So you can have both a common name or a recognized floor location name and your registered fire door number or reference, however the business uses it. So a really nice way to have multiple door naming protocols. So the individual door reports can be reviewed simply by clicking on one of the reports. So here again, it will digitally map out the location of the door and highlight that for you. So if we go into the full door inspection report underneath and click on expand all, the first section of our door report will detail information about the fire door itself. So compliance information, we'll try and assess the fire door rating, of course, what the door's actually made of, whether it's a timber or composite door, again, single or double. We'll also include, where possible, the location for the door and obviously its functionality. So this door here is a riser cupboard at Fireco, and we'll also include visual assessment photos that can be zoomed in on that do not affect the quality or integrity of the photo. So if you want to have a look at the key code, for example, in more detail, you can really blow those photographs up and it won't affect the quality. The first stage of any fire door assessment using the app is to carry out a visual assessment. The adage being there's no point carrying out an MOT on a car if it hasn't got an engine in. So at the visual assessment stage, we are looking for any obvious significant signs of failure. That could be something to do with the door itself. Perhaps there's a big hole in the door, or the architraves hanging off, door closers hanging off, or perhaps some fire stopping issues above or around the doors. So generally, we carry out an initial visual assessment and will include a visual assessment photo. So you can see in this instance, the door has passed. One of the nice features that I think Fireco offer in our software is this detailed door gapping measurements. Generally, in a lot of reports I see, door gaps can be either a green or red for pass or fail. If there's more information provided, they often just provide one number. That can be a measurement at the top of the door, the side of the door, and the bottom of the door, but that doesn't really build up an overall picture of the gaps around your fire doors. So Fireco, where possible, will provide 3 measurements on each side of the door and top and bottom to really build up a better idea of how close to tolerance those gaps are. You'll see, although this door has failed, it's only failed by 1 millimetre down left and 0.5 on the right hand side. So it really gives you a good idea, and your remedials team, of whether that door can be fixed or repaired. So all of the door inspections that we carry out are customised to your fire door. So this option here will allow you to select any of the components that were on the door and present to be inspected. So you'll see in this example that we have, we've highlighted all of the door leaf hinges. The only items that were not present on this particular inspection were the retainer bottom seal and some hardware. So it allows the inspector or the team carrying out the inspection to customise that particular report to all of the hardware that's actually on the door. When we move on to have a look at the door leaf, we'll actually detail any certificates or compliance information about that door set, and even include the certificate number for you, so you can go away and look that up at a future date. Of course, if there's no certification or labelling on the door, it will be labelled as such. We'll then carry out a thorough inspection on all of the components that are highlighted on that custom stage of the door. So you'll see here that in this case, the door's got no architrave on it, so that was highlighted as a fail. Again, you can really zoom in, blow those photos up and get a good look at exactly why that's failed. We'll, where possible, include any information on the CE markings of the components on the door. So in this example, we've actually included the hinge reference and the CE marking number for that particular set of hinges. You'll see the door closer passed, and the glazing has also passed. We'll also detail any certification and labelling on the glazing as well, to make sure that you've got all your certificate references for future reference. Following that, we'll check out all the remaining items on the door set. You can see in this example, we've checked and looked at the lock. Fire seals have passed, but the smoke seal and the handle and plate have failed. As a result, ultimately, this fire door has failed the inspection and is going to need some remedial works and or replacements. So that is your individual door report, which includes all of your detailed views of how the door's been assessed, including your photos and comments. So if we just go back to your homepage on the portal here, Fireco give you some other unique ways to view those reports. So if we go into the view report section here, we've got 3 options. So we have had a look at the full report. The second option here is a summary report. So this allows us to collate all of the issues with all of the doors that have been inspected on one page. So if you're trying to assess what needs to be repaired or replaced on each of the doors, instead of manually going through a report and pulling those items out or highlighting them on Excel, Fireco hosts all of the items across the top of the page that can be inspected, and all of the doors that have been inspected down the left-hand side. So we use a very nice grid matrix system, again, green for pass, red for fail, that show all of the component failures or passes on each of the door sets in all of the properties. So again, a really nice, easy one-page way to view the reports. You can click directly through and back from the summary page on those door reports if you want to have a look at a particular one in more detail. Please don't worry if one of the boxes, all that means is that that particular item was not present on the fire door at the time of inspection. So this allows you and your compliance team to assess quite quickly which doors have got the most damage, which need to be prioritised, and use in a weighting system which of the doors need immediate repair. We give an option for a comments here on the right hand side, and very occasionally on the door reports you might see something that says this is not a fire door in terms of its construction, and all that means is that at the visual assessment stage it was identified either by material or thickness not to be a fire door and needs immediate response and or repair. So again, just to refresh, the summary view allows you to view all of the issues with all of the doors on one page without having to revisit the individual reports. Finally, we give you the option here to physically print the reports out if you wish. Not that you should need to now because you've got them stored centrally on the online portal. You can save them to PDF, and we also give you an option to export the file types here, this information shown on the summary page via CSV into something like an Excel document. So just finally, before I leave you, I just wanted to touch on the interim inspection reports. With the frequency of inspections up as high now as sometimes monthly, sometimes quarterly, the idea was to give in-house teams that have got lots of doors a quick way to carry out interim inspections. So we've included all of the information from the SFG 20 document as drop downs in the interim inspection. So showing you the interim inspection here, it gives you the option to pre-select any of these options that you want your team to check when carrying out either monthly or quarterly checks, so that you can use the app in-house with your own team as a way to recognise and report those fire safety issues.